The heart of high school wrestling is here in Adams County, and nobody covers it like WZBD.
You guys got a heck of a view.
It's time for Haggard, Hirschy, and Zelt High School Wrestling Weekly.
Everybody wants to be there.
It's the coolest thing in the world.
90 minutes of interviews, results, discussions, and prognostications.
I'm excited.
As Hall of Famer Rex Brewer and Dane Filling bring you another episode.
We hope that you can join us here
Live from
The Double Eagle Clubhouse Grille.
on Channel Z,
I'm excited.
92.7 FM.
Well, good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome back to the Double Eagle Clubhouse Grille for another episode of the Haggard, Hirschy, Zelt High School Wrestling Weekly. And Dane, you sent me the show notes, week 5 already.
Yeah, we're definitely deep into the season. I think there's only just a handful of teams left out there in Indiana, most of them strong football programs who have not yet wrestled. Of course, Adams Central is one of them. We are going to run through for you before the night is over on the provisional lineup for the Baggy Buzz under new coach Ryan Landis, and we're super excited to be partnering and cooperating with him. We'll have Adams Central's opener on Tuesday, and then they'll get really underway on Saturday at the ACAC duels. It's Conference Duels Week on WZBD. We'll have the NE8 duels on Friday, and we'll have the ACAC duels on Saturday. And I think we've finally gotten to that portion of the season where there's some question marks. Last year, Belmont got beat by New Haven at the NE8 duels. I don't know which way it's going to go. I've looked a little bit at the matchups. Haven't seen a ton from, or haven't looked at a ton from New Haven. Obviously, I've seen 13 matches for Belmont at this point, but I think Belmont's off to a good start. I would say, like,
pretty well.
if you would have sat down with me on October 7th, and we would have charted what the Belmont lineup looked like and what their overall records were and how they would have wrestled some of the teams that have been on their schedule, I would say that where they are right now would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Compared to maybe what our expectations were. And maybe I think some of that is just what the way the lineup went together and the way that they were able to get, I think, for the most part, outside of, we haven't really talked a ton on the show about Jacob Binniger's injury, but we haven't really had to talk about it because Barger and Baker have done so well in his place. And so, obviously when you're talking about individual kids, you never want to see a kid lose his spot because of injury. But, like, from a team perspective, Barger, Binniger, Baker, you got 3 quality guys who are taking up those 2 weights. When Binniger comes back from injury, those are going to be tough wrestle-offs.
That's what I talk to the football coaches about during football season. What's the difference? What's the gap between your 1s and 2s? And in Belmont's case, I've seen that good things out of that young Mr. Barger. That's the backup. I mean, and if Binniger was not even part of the lineup, you wouldn't even know because he's a very good 6-pounder.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Jacob Binniger was a sectional champion last year, a semi-state qualifier as a freshman, and had an outstanding season. So when Belmont gets him back, that's an extra feather in the cap that they'll have going into potentially, I hope, the 2A team state duels. I don't know exactly what his timeline is on recovery, but
well, I do want to throw this out there. This broadcast brought to you by Innovative Concepts Audio and Video. Not only do they provide the computers, but I spent a lot of time in there talking to Jason Baker about tech things, and I had some real problems with it. And if you're watching, we have camera, we have video now. We're equal to Mike and Joe because Mike and Joe from Grille Radio.
Better.
Yeah, Mike and Joe are on Grille Radio. They have video. So if you're watching live on YouTube, you see something new. This is the first time we've ever had video on, and so we're doing that. But the guys at Innovative Concepts helped me make sure that the camera was working right. I had some real struggles there the other night at the Delta match, but we was able to overcome it. But it's a new part of our show that I think people really like.
Yeah, and the broadcast this past week on WZBD on the YouTube channel, I think it was really nice. A lot of people commented that they really enjoyed watching it. We're not going to get into a situation where we're streaming HD quality video anytime soon, but for specific instances where it makes sense and we have a good vantage point and we know where we're going to be, and there's only one mat, I think it makes sense. Now, are we going to put the the webcams up for Friday and Saturday when there's 4 different mats going on? Probably why not? I mean, but you're not going to be able to see the action, move for move.
Now, I know that Marco is getting some props for being a cameraman, but here's a little idea. Get the camera someplace where Marco doesn't move it because they get a little shaky. Like, you get a little dizzy watching it jump around. So
yeah, I did think that perhaps if we go up 2 rows at Belmont, we might be better off.
Well, I'm going to get you one of these fancy.
Well, we had the tripod going.
Oh, tripod? Okay.
Yeah, but Marco's easily distracted, so it doesn't take much. He had one of his best friends that he hadn't seen in a long time come sit next to him, and I have to. I was going to talk about this. It's personal for me, but it is what it is. That's our show, I guess. Marco doesn't really like going to wrestling. He's made that clear for several years, and he's the last holdout of the family who's not involved. And we talked to we talked to Sean about this on Thursday after the match because it was the future of Belmont Wrestling Night, and they brought in all the young kids from club and from middle school, right? And they let them see, the whole show, the fog machine, the crazy train, the lights, the spotlight, and everything. When we left that match, Marco, who's in 6th grade, said, "Dad, when's the next match?" And and he's not a wrestler. But he enjoyed himself. Yeah. And I think we've talked so long about trying to make dual meets fun and a part of the family. My parents showed up and sat up in the law firm where we belong. And it was good. It was a good time. I mean, it wasn't a very competitive match, but you really do have to pull out some of those stops to make it enjoyable.
Well, I think Tim has done that over the past 3 years. This year during the AC match, he has the recognition of the 3rd places. And you have to entertain those people. And the idea of getting into a dual meet and hurrying and racing through it as fast as you can so you can leave and go home is crazy. You bring those people out there. They paid $7 to get in. Run 7 matches. Stop. Have a little thing. Do what you need to do, awards presentation, and finish the show. I mean, Big Ten does it because they have paid sponsors. And that's how you make your money. So make it entertaining to the fans.
And Mike Gum appreciates it, too.
Yeah.
He really does. I also want to give a shout out to Jeremy Aker, who was great on Thursday and helped us with our timing as well. So
I thought he looked like he was stalling a little bit between matches.
We were on the same page, which is what we wanted. So don't forget that I'll be at I'll be at Adams Central for Norwell and Adams Central on Tuesday. Rex and Josh will be at South Adams at the Stardome for Belmont and South Adams. That's going to be a fun duel. There's some good matchups there, and then we'll have the conference duels this weekend. After we took the weekend off broadcasting this weekend,
that felt nice to have the weekend off, though, Dane.
It was. Of course, I still found myself at a wrestling tournament, but that's how it goes. We will talk to Joe Caprino. We'll talk to the assistant commissioner of the IHSAA in charge of wrestling, Robert Falkins, later on, right after 7 o'clock. Wade McClurg is in the house. We're going to talk Warrior and Indiana Tech. We're going to talk Little State and lots more. And then we'll jump back in with Joe to cover some of the results from this week. And what are we ranking, Joe? I thought I had a good idea.
We'll rank burgers. The Double Eagle has the burger special this week that I've had. I've had 3 of them this week so far, so I think it's highly recommended. I know that Joe and his wife had it, and they didn't seem to complain very much, and their table is cleared and their plates are emptied, so I think they did okay. But with that, let's send it for a round of commercials. Back with more of the High School Wrestling Weekly here on WZBD YouTube.
Locally owned and operated by Shane Reynolds and family, DDD Maintenance and Repair is your place to go for heavy-duty truck and diesel engine repair. Located just outside of Monroe, DDD Maintenance and Repair also offers sand and glass blasting for all of your surface restoration projects. Whether you're looking to get your truck or diesel engine to run like new, or your metal restoration project to look like new, we have a blast renewing the past. Give Shane and the guys a call at 223-5442. That's DDD Maintenance and Repair.
When faced with the difficult task of making arrangements for your loved one, many emotions and questions arise. What would they want me to do if they were here? Where is the money coming from? How much should I spend? Do they want burial or cremation? The staff at Haggard, Hirschy, and Zelt Funeral Home can help you navigate these tough questions. Make your wishes known and allow us to make sure that your wishes are carried out. Call Ryan Hirschy or Eric Zelt at 260-724-7167 to schedule an appointment today.
Shop local. It's a phrase we hear all the time, but for the staff and family at Package Liquors, it means something extra. Package, with locations in Decatur, Monroe, Berne, and Markle. is a local family-owned business that has been serving local communities for decades. We take your support and patronage and return it by supporting local athletes on WZBD and donating to different organizations across Adams County. The next time you're deciding where to shop, shop local. Shop at Package. It's where your friends shop.
Based out of the Indiana Tech Wrestling Facility, the Warrior Regional Training Center is an elite training center for youth wrestlers, high school wrestlers, and college and senior level athletes. Featuring a college coaching staff with a strong history of developing talent and producing results, Warrior RTC will give any wrestler quality training partners to push them to new levels in the state-of-the-art 25,000 square foot wrestling building. The training is affordable and private training is also available. Put Warrior RTC in your corner this season.
Welcome back once again to the Double Eagle Clubhouse Grille for another segment of the High School Wrestling Weekly, and we have made our way to first period A, and our new guest, Joe Caprino, is with us, the big gorilla himself.
Yes, in the house.
In the house.
Made it this time.
Always great to have you on the show, and we love our cooperation between Indiana Matt, the Caprino household, and WZBD. It's a lot of fun. And you and I found ourselves in the same place yesterday.
Yeah, Westfield, always a great tournament. When I was coaching at Carroll, we went there, won it a few times, and just a great tournament, top to bottom. I know Wade's coached against him there a couple times, and just a real good tournament. A lot of great wrestling, even in the pool play, and I think they're going to continue to grow into a pretty solid tournament every year.
If you're out there organizing tournaments and you have the space to do it in that manner, setting things up so that there's a fixed amount of matches and then something to wrestle for in this round and then this round and then again in this round, and trying to get teams to wrestle like teams.
Yes.
Is the name of the game in the beginning of December. And that was kind of the beautiful part of that tournament, right? Is if you lost once, you dropped down into this level, and the further you got back in the gym, the more losses you had. But that's the point, right? I mean, that's what we've tried to do with Team State for the last couple of years, is making sure, some of the best matches that have happened at Team State have been the match for 7th and 8th.
Yep.
Or the match in the semifinals to see who wrestles for 9th and 10th or 11th, 12th. Anytime you can get a good wrestling team with coaches who care, where the bouts are going 7-7 and 6-8, that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a great event. I just like how like you said, you get pushed up or down to your level, and your teams are wrestling similar level guys. I know, talking to the Carroll coach, he was, they were in the Final Four pool. You knew you were going to get two really good matches. They were going to get, 28 matches between those two duels against real good teams. There's not going to be an easy match for any of their kids, whether they're the good kids or not. They all had good matches, and that's what you want to do in early December, because that's going to pay off when it comes time to play, towards the end of the season.
And there was some good wrestling. There was some scrapping going on. There were some butts coming out of seats all the way around, which is what you want, and getting fired up, and coaches and we really feel like we're in the heart of the season now, at least for most of those teams.
Yeah, this the last week was what Mike and I always talk about as the opening weekend. Pretty much everyone was wrestling somewhere on Saturday. A lot of great matches. You also had the Harvest. You had some other duels and everything going on. The TRC duels. I know that one's one you were keeping your eyes on, but there's some really good events just all throughout the state. Modern Day had some. Cathedral. I was going to try to get down to Cathedral, but there's some good matches. Them and Avon wrestled to a tie, and I believe Cathedral won on criteria. So a lot of great matches, and it's just putting together all the individual upsets and everything. And there were 30 plus on the boys' side that I have right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk later in the show about some of those results specifically, and I also want to try to test you to see if we can get Rex into a discussion about the best hospitality rooms that he's ever visited. It's a long, long list.
I don't know if he can keep it down to 5.
Well, when you wrote the staff articles that on the WZB website, you had the greatest picture of all of me walking, and I was showing that I scored 2 tickets.
Yes, I remember. That was at Girls State.
Girls State. I scored 2 tickets to the.
That was after that one book reading lady ruined your day earlier.
We were just about had a match up there.
What was that? Martinsville?
Mooresville.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
And you know who you go get tickets for the food room? Pat.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's generally, if I had a question about the NE8 duels earlier, and I just texted Pat, and I let her take care of it. So She's great with all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, later on in the show, we'll talk about the results from the weekend, and we'll talk about Rex's favorite hospitality rooms and that Columbia City hospitality room.
It's up there
I think
toward the top.
We're mixing Pat and our poll in there as well. In just a few minutes, we're going to be joined by the Assistant Commissioner of the IHSAA, Robert Falcons. And, Joe, you and I joked with Jason Willie last week. I texted him on maybe 3 o'clock. I don't know if it was Wednesday or Thursday. And I said, somebody's been working hard. And I sent him a meme of somebody typing away at their computer because they've updated, the IHSAA has their wrestling state tournament page. It's got the sectional hosts and the regional hosts and the start times, and it says 2025-26 now. And there's a couple things in there that you and I noticed that are changes. Do you remember what any of those are? There's a change in price.
Yes.
They have changed the price of a full state finals ticket from $30 to $40, which is a pretty hefty hike. And we also learned that they're going to start with the big guys on Friday at state and finish with the little guys.
Yep, they've been switching that.
Has it gone alternating every year?
Yes, I believe so. Since they kind of started the split session, now they have the kind of modified split session with the hour in between, which I love because we get time to stand up and go recuperate.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think there's a whole lot of people who really dislike the split session. I'm sure that there are people who, because of their employment, would rather work as much as they can on Friday and then still be able to drive and get there. But as far as people who are taking the day off on Friday, surely downtown Indianapolis appreciates the split session.
I know
because I guarantee you there's a lot more money being spent on Friday night than there used to be.
I know that the first year that they did it, we interviewed Robert, and he told us that second year, he said, I really like that. And he said, as long as I'm in charge, we're still going to do that. And we know that from every state finals from here on out, they're going to put that gap in the middle. And like you said, Joe, it gives you some time to decompress a little bit. Sometimes we run another show or we do some other stuff in the middle, but it's nice to be able to break that up a little bit. But the key is, if you got a team full of guys and you got lightweights and heavyweights at the same time, let those heavy guys in to watch their teammates. Because first year, they kept them out because they were worried about COVID, people being close together. So they separated them. But this year, or last couple of years they've done it, they allow them to come in and watch their teammates wrestle.
Yeah, they've been doing that, and that's pretty good. I like being able to get up and make sure I don't miss a match and go talk to people and kind of decompress after that first 7 matches or weights, and there's always some craziness, and we're always trying to figure out team scores. And did someone just win the team state title right there, or did they?
And they've made an effort in the last couple of years to not make it go so fast.
Yeah.
We've all we've all worked the entire season and looked forward to that night. And it used to be, man, it would start at 6:10, right? Once all the festivities were over, and it was just an absolute sprint, no time wasted, moving guys on mats so that we could all be done at 9:45, 10 o'clock. Whereas now it feels like, okay, here are the 6-pounders. Let's let them all wrestle. Let's all watch it, because nobody wants to start a new match while this match is 6.5 minutes in. You know what I mean? And let's just wait. We don't need to be in a hurry. It's like you just said with the dual meet, right? We don't need to be in a hurry when Bishop Dwenger wrestles Belmont. There's only 21 bouts to be had. 12 of them are going to end in a first or second period fall. It's not that long of a time period. And I think the more schools that do that, the more it might help with trying to draw people out.
I like that starting early. And like I said, if the night doesn't go to like 10 o'clock and you're trying to rush around trying to find something to eat, if you do that early session and that later session ends at a decent time, you guys have like a meet and greet for the Grille Radio then, and there's been some really good interactions there, and you've had some real good show turnouts for that.
Yeah, I think that's always great because you're done by about 8 o'clock now, and yeah, I think we are lucky in our single class system that we only have 4 mats. We don't have to worry about running 3-4 classes like some states, and they're trying to get in and out because they have 3 or 4 times as many matches. So we're very lucky in that we're able to do those kinds of things, and it's kind of a good thing that we're able to showcase our state finals even more personal, that all 106ers are wrestling at the same time, and it makes it a lot easier to follow for fans and everyone, and it's a great time. So looking forward to state. They'll be here. It'll feel like it's next week in about a month.
It's just like any of the big IHSAA state finals. You've got to find a way to bring as many casual fans out as possible. You got 224 wrestlers. They're always going to bring the same number of people. Yeah. This year it may be 3% more. Next year maybe 3% less. But you got to find people who want to make a weekend out of it. And by doing little things like that seem to be accommodating the average fan, I think you're going to draw more people. If you've only got one guy down there and he doesn't have a great chance of winning on Friday, you're going to have to give people a reason to stay for Saturday. And if you can give them a decent timeline where they can enjoy a meal with the people that they came with, not have to rush to get home to their hotel so they can get 6 hours of sleep and then hurry back in the morning so that they can get a seat that's unreserved, right? Like we've progressed through a lot of that stuff to make it a much more enjoyable weekend for a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. And the modifications, they're continuing to make little tweaks here and there of what works and what isn't working as well. So it's neat to see the evolution. And, I mean, we can talk about how it was 10, 15, 20 years ago and how much the evolution of the state finals is making it a better event.
And I think that a huge thing is depending on what the weather is. If you pray for a good weekend of weather, because if you have one of those weekends when it's a light weekend weather down there in late February, third week of February, and you're out there and you're walking in shirt sleeve and you can go to the restaurants in between rounds and stuff, that really puts a lot of more commerce into the city of Indianapolis, because Indianapolis is pretty cool to walk around downtown, because you guys know, I mean, you got your spots where you go all the time, and if you got decent weather, you go down there and you see, I mean, there's been years we're down there with no coats on and shirt sleeve.
And other years where it's been miserable.
Oh, where it's down there like 8 or 10 inches of snow, you can't park on the street and you're walking through sludge and stuff, but, I mean, you get what you get. Now, the year we were into Evansville, it didn't snow, but it was so blasted cold. And the wind was howling, and they tried to do a good job of have out things to people that are outside, and it was just too cold to do any of that stuff.
Yeah, there's no way you can predict that kind of stuff until, a week before. But, we're going to talk to the commissioner about what's new from the IHSAA point of view. There are some changes to the girls' tournament alignment. We'll talk about that later on in the show. We'll ask him if there's any changes to this year's tournament that he's planning on doing. Obviously, we'll talk about some of the stuff that was kind of announced on, not really announced, but published finally by the IHSAA, and timing and all that kind of stuff. So we're looking forward to that here in less than 10 minutes. And then when he's done, we'll go to commercial, and we'll come back and we'll talk to Wade McClurg about Indiana Tech and Warrior RTC and what he's seen from some of the area wrestlers as we get excited for those conference duels. And then we'll bring Joe back in to talk more about what happened in this past week and what's in store for this week. We do have a few more minutes here in our segment. Joe, obviously, did you get a final score from – I left before it was over on Saturday.
No, I didn't, other than Westfield won. That's the only thing I got. Westfield was first. Whiteland beat Noblesville. Noblesville beat both Carmel and Homestead. The Noblesville-Homestead match was really good. Came down to the last, 3 matches, a couple upsets and some real good matches. Both teams were scrapping. And then Whiteland beat Roncalli. Roncalli, I know, they're missing back a few guys in their lineup. I don't know if they would beat Whiteland's pretty loaded up top. Camden Williams, 215, really good wrestler, had a real good offseason. So I don't know if Roncalli makes up those points, but it's you never know if until you're full strength. And so I think it was Westfield, Whiteland, Noblesville, then Carroll. So some good matches, and it's always a good event there, and some good wrestling, a lot of good individual results.
Now, Joe, if we learned anything about today, head-to-heads matter, right?
Yes.
From our college playoff announcement. So we'll have to discuss what that means for Team State. That is one of the hardest things when you're weighing two teams. You get a lot of feedback from coaches who say, man, this was our score, but if we would have just had this guy and this guy, this is what the score would have been. And obviously there's some instances where that's certainly helpful. If you lose a match by one and you say, hey, I got 2 state medalists who were out, and we got pinned in both of those matches. Wow. There's something to be said about that. But too often, coaches, we had this guy out. Well, you got a pin with his backup anyways. So what the heck did it matter that he was out? Little things like that sometimes. Obviously, it's coaches' jobs. How much did you see on ESPN the last 3 days of actual interviews with all three of those coaches, with Freeman and with the Miami coach and with everybody else who were making their case, right? That's their job to do that. But, ultimately somebody's got to be in and somebody's got to be out.
I know this is a wrestling show, but that was a really good football game last night.
It was.
That was a good football game.
It was.
And there was no blowout, no 50 points. I mean, teams really playing, a couple of missed field goals, swinging.
And I think it also showcases how well Indianapolis does big sporting events. They were all over it, and obviously IU was playing basketball at Gainbridge earlier in the afternoon, and downtown Indianapolis was just rocking. You went home after the wrestling, didn't you? I stayed. I was in Fishers last night, and there were people everywhere. The restaurant that we ate in after my son's soccer game was just filled with people who were screaming and shouting every single first down, every touchdown that was scored.
Well, I spent a lot of time watching the prep for it, and they had a bunch of different coaches on, not either from Ohio State or from IU, and they were talking about moving to Big Ten championships, and every coach said, no, you're not going to take it out to Los Angeles and UCLA. It's like, you put it in Indianapolis, you're going to have a lot more people. Those Midwest people will drive 4 or 5 hours, get there. He said, Indianapolis does such a good job at everything, whether it's the NBA All-Star game, whether it's the Super Bowl. I mean, Indianapolis does such a good job running it that he said you can't put it anyplace else. But that brings us to the end of this segment. Let's play a round of commercials. Back with more High School Wrestling Weekly here on WZBD's YouTube channel.
Hello, this is Joel from your local hometown Packaged Liquors. Packaged Liquors provides the best selection of domestic, import, and craft beers in Z-Land. With locations in Decatur, Monroe, Bern, and Markle, you're always just a short drive away from picking up the perfect last-minute gift or just the right six-pack to watch the game with friends. You're never a stranger when you walk through the doors, and our smiling staff never has a problem giving you a recommendation when you're not sure what it is you need. Stop in at one of our 4 locations and see what hometown service looks like. Packaged Liquors, it's where your friends shop.
Renowned around the Midwest for his skills and his creative abilities, Nate Bowers and the team at Bowers Paint Studio in Decatur work with a wide range of clients, from collision repair to custom paint jobs for classic cars and motorcycles. Located on Monroe Street on the west side of Decatur, Bowers is your place for body work too, whether it's getting your ride back on the road or finally getting that classic car, the paint job you've always wanted. Stop by or give Nate a call to put the best in the business to work for you.
Ho, ho, ho. 'Twas the season for giving, and throughout the community, neighbors shopped local with remarkable unity. They found clothes and toys that make children glad, sparkling jewelry for mom, electronics for dad. Why, everything you need to spread holiday cheer is all readily available right now and right here. This reminder to shop local for all your heart yearns comes with Merry Christmas wishes from First Bank of Bern.
The staff at Haggard, Hirschy, and Zelt Funeral Home is honored to serve the community we love and live in. Locally owned and operated by Ryan Hirschy and Eric Zelt, we understand that each family we serve and each life lived tells a unique story. Our goal is to offer comfort, care, and dignity to all who entrust their loved ones to our care. We are proud to call Adams County our home and look forward to serving you for generations to come.
Welcome back once again to the Double Eagle Clubhouse Grille for our next segment here on the High School Wrestling Weekly. And Joe, every week on Mondays when you guys are on Guerrilla Radio, I'm in telling you and Mikey what specials were. Were you disappointed at all with the burger tonight?
No, it's very good and hit the spot. Long day. I was at Snyder for some elementary duels till about 3:30. So I was really hungry for a good solid meal, and that filled me up. So I'm gonna go home full and hopefully probably crash out by about 9 o'clock tonight.
So for all those fans out there that listen each week and they think Rex is just over promoting the food at the Double Eagle, it's no joke. Best food in town.
Well, I am contractually obligated. If I'm eating in Decatur, I got to eat.
You have to eat the Double Eagle. That's
in the
right.
Contract.
That's
so.
right. As a WZBD employee. Well, we're waiting on Commissioner Falcons, and we'll talk a little bit about the alignment. But we want to make sure that we give a shout out to some of our fans and our sponsors. The Brad Weber family, a sponsor of this show, and I want to give a shout out to Lenny Razzo. I'm telling you what, doing that, you obviously know a lot about this. Doing PA at big home sporting events is not easy, and trying to add the correct amount and degree of energy to match the room is not easy, and I thought Lenny did a really, really nice job on Thursday night.
I went to the girls' basketball game the other night, and Mike Mockey, one of our WZBD staff, does a great job there. And I mean, they had the girls from 1980 basketball team out there, and they had the bios. That's one of the hardest things when you're a PA guy. They hand you this big sheet of bios that you got to read, or like on senior night, all these kids that thank everybody. Those are hard. I've done them for basketball and for baseball, and that's the part of PA job. It's like, I don't want to do this. Now, I don't stand up and sing the national anthem like Mike does.
Let's be thankful for that.
Yes. Thank God for small favors.
Well, the IHSAA, as I plug in my computer because I used it all day long, as we wait on Commissioner Falcons here, the IHSAA did announce, if you're a fan of girls wrestling, the alignments are out for this year's state tournament. And obviously we've talked about this the last couple of years, that the IHSAA, probably rightfully so, and I don't even know if I would have thought about it, they've kind of waited until midway through the season to say, okay, who's got a team and how many girls do they have, and let's make sure that we're not throwing, we don't want an 11-team sectional when somewhere else in the state all of a sudden now we have a 24-team sectional, trying to even it out as much as they can. And it looks like from just sort of a passing glance that they're anywhere from 14 to 19 teams. And that's a pretty good division as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, the IHSAA's got the tournament set up for 16 sectionals this year and 4 regionals, which really they just changed the terms, right? This is what a lot of people would like to do to the boys tournament, and that's eliminate the tab on the IHSAA website that says sectional and just start everybody at the regional and then have 4 semi-states and then go to state. So that's basically what you have. Locally here, Jay County is in the Muncie Central sectional again, but that has moved even more towards Hamilton County. And one big addition to that, Carmel's been added to Jay County's girls wrestling sectional. So that is Blackford County, Jay County, and then also as far like Yorktown and Muncie Central, Cowan, Daleville, all those Delaware County schools, and then Fishers, Hamilton Southeastern, Carmel, and then it even extends to New Pal, along with Noblesville. So obviously New Pal with a lot of success in the very early years when girls wrestling really took off, and they still have a really strong program. That's a really strong sectional that the Jay County finds themselves in. And what's interesting then is that Jay County is actually in the southern half, right, of schools that have girls wrestling. And so they end up going into the regional with the Perry Meridian, Eastern Hancock, and Shenandoah. So Jay County is in with all the Marion County schools and the donut counties, and they don't come north at all. And the East Nobles and the Garretts of the world are actually, East Noble and Garrett are in the Northwest regional. I keep wanting to call it semi-state, and then Columbia City and like New Haven and those types of schools actually go with Lafayette and with like Crawfordsville, Manchester, Hamilton Heights. Those kind of schools are in the second regional from the north. So it's as it probably should be, but it's still weird for us to have it be so different from the boys tournament.
Yeah, it seems like they have made a cross section horizontally than the 3-4 pods that they have for semi-states.
Yeah, whereas it seems like the boys tournament is more cornery, right? It's northwest corner, northeast corner, then the central half, and then the southern third is basically how it's split up. So that's definitely a little bit different. But yeah, we're excited. We're still working out the details, but and working on some sponsorships. But we do have plans on WZBD to have full YouTube coverage of the girls sectional at Muncie Central. We will have the girls regional at Muncie Central. Oh,
and I'm now answering the phone for Assistant Commissioner Robert Falcons. I'm glad this didn't come across as a spam call, potential spam call. How you doing tonight, Commissioner?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We're good.
Well, Mr. Falcons, Dane Filling here from High School Wrestling Weekly. We were just running through some of the new published information that's been on IHSAA as of this week. And I guess we'll just give you the floor and tell us what does a wrestling fan need to know about both girls' state finals and boys' state finals this year?
Well, for the girls, it's their second state finals as a championship sport. And again, we're going to have it at the Coliseum at the fairgrounds in January. And we're looking forward to it. The girls have a lot of momentum and keeping up from last year. The numbers are great. And we've done a little bit of change with respect to the way it's going to be laid out and the way it's going to look, and getting easier access for the girls to just improve their championship. And again, the boys are again in February at Gamebridge. And again, that's always a signature event for the IHSA. And on that finals round, it's, one-on-one under the lights with 12,000 people screaming one way or the other. So we're looking forward to both those championships.
Now, right before you called, we were reviewing some of the changes to the sectional and regional levels for the girls. How have you guys gone about sort of trying to even that tournament out as more and more programs sort of come online?
Yeah, and that's part of the growing pains. We're still getting schools that are letting us know that they want to compete in the tournament, and so that's caused some headaches with us with respect to setting up our schedules with the sectionals and the regionals. But again, as we grow, we're going to have those growing pains. But the good thing is we have people willing to host. They're capable of hosting, and the girls are going to get a great experience, as they should, with any IHSA tournament that we do.
Now, obviously, one of the big changes for the girls' tournament this year is that the regional will be held on a Saturday instead of a Friday. Do you want to talk at all about the process of sort of making that decision, and is that a sort of a precursor to a bigger shift next year and years to come?
Absolutely. Again, as we said, we're trying to grow this tournament, and part of that growth means adjusting when we can to make that tournament look more like our other state tournaments. And again, just like you said, this is the first step in moving that in that direction and making all of our tournament dates for the girls on Saturdays as well.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. I mean, obviously, one of the big things in Indiana high school wrestling is the Coaches Association Team State, which will find itself on the same day as that girls regional. But there's got to eventually be a breaking point where you say we can't make decisions for the girls based on what the boys are doing, and I think that speaks to the growth that the sport has had for the girls.
Absolutely. The last couple of years we didn't know what it would look like when we made it a championship sport. We had an idea, but we didn't know it would grow as fast and as quickly as it has, and so that has necessitated us making some changes and moving in that direction. So this speaks more to the work of our coaches in our schools and the number of girls participating in wrestling, that we're moving in that direction to make those things singular events.
So any big changes to the format of the girls' state finals as far as timing or what you have planned?
No, not so much. Most of the changes are logistic. Where we're going to put the girls and how we're going to get them on the floor and off the floor. Just those things that the public doesn't normally see. The wrestling's going to be the same. We're going to have the same, just the same look as the boys with respect to the state finals and that championship Saturday.
And obviously the girls' state finals will be broadcast on WZBD. That's January 16th this year.
Yes.
And
Yes.
It's going to be at the state fairgrounds. And the first round begins there, I believe, at 10 a.m. And we'll bring you via our YouTube channel all of the rounds of that, including the championship rounds. And we're super, super excited to be able to do that again.
And you guys are such great partners, and thank you for doing that. I think what you all have done has been a big help in promoting the girls and getting girls interested to wrestle. They get to see what it looks like and see themselves in that arena and on championship night. And you guys do such a great job in presenting what we do and making it look like what we want it to look like.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Rex and I have a lot of fun doing it, and we're certainly lucky to have a radio station that sort of allows us to take that liberty to go above and beyond what might be expected of us, and it just has kind of become something that we expect to happen, and we've built a lot of relationships with some coaches that we really enjoy, and obviously, getting to interview some of the girls and to watch them grow over their careers and to see them at different tournaments throughout the year, it's a fun connection to make, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and just like you said, we want to give those girls the same opportunities that we give with every championship sport and every student athlete that has an opportunity to compete for a championship, and this should be no different. And thanks to you all, we're making it that way.
Now, one thing that we did note on changes to the boys tournament this year for the state finals is that you're starting with the big guys on Friday and then going with the little guys in the second session. I've heard a lot of feedback from a lot of people that really enjoy that part. So kudos to the IHSAA for mixing it up.
Well, again, this comes from the coaches. We alternate the big boys and the small kids every year. So next year, in 2027, it'll be just the exact opposite, which is a normal start at 106 and then do the 150 to 285. But yeah, this is something that came from the coaches, and we're always listening. Sometimes we don't do what they want, but a lot of times they have great ideas, and this is one that's worked, and I think we're going to continue doing it.
Robert, remember to pencil us in, because one of our High School Wrestling Weekly shows, we always do dance state finals, and we do always pencil you in as a guest. So put that on your dance card for that day, too.
Absolutely. That's a priority.
One last question for you. We were talking here before the show started. This shift from track wrestling to USA bracketing seems to have a lot of coaches maybe aren't ready to enter a lot of their results like you would have expected them to a year or two ago. But it seemed to me like the IHSAA was wanting coaches to be uploading and posting all of their stuff on USA Bracketing from the start of the season. Is that still your plan, to use that kind of information at seeding?
Absolutely. And that's, we did the same thing with track wrestling, and that was how we got our seeding meetings done, and we're going to do the same thing with USA Bracketing. We can only give, you get bad information in, you get bad information out. So, again, this is something new. We got to work with it, work with our coaches on to make sure they understand why. We want them to do those results as quickly as they can. We've even just getting the weigh-ins has been a challenge, and we've put a limit on the time that they have to get those in, and then they, but it's something we're working on. This is the first year we've done it with the boys, and the girls did it last year. Worked very well. And the folks at USA Wrestling are very, very good. They know the sport. They're involved in the sport. They know what we should be doing. And they're a big help in responding to what we want to make sure that all of our wrestling is top-notch and we get the good information so we make good decisions with respect to those seating meetings before the sectionals.
Well, Commissioner, we thank you for coming on the show tonight, and we look forward to maybe talking to you in January or February before the Boys State Tournament gets started. And in today's age of new transfer rules and NIL money at the high school level and all these other things, you do not have an easy job, and I don't envy you for some of the decisions that you have to make.
Yeah, at times I'm even less popular than I have been in the past, but that's okay. I mean, I think what we have to do and what we consider all the time is every athlete, and we can't make exceptions for some, and we have to make things that work for everyone, and that's what we'll continue to do. And a lot of times, sometimes it doesn't work, most times it does, but we're not afraid of making those decisions, and we do it with the consultation of our principals and athletic directors and our coaches. So it's not something that we try to do just in our offices alone. We try to get the best information and make the best decisions.
Thanks, Commish. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Well, that brings our segment first period at B to an end. So with that, let's run around a commercial. We're back with more High School Wrestling Weekly right here on WZBD's YouTube channel.
Based out of the Indiana Tech Wrestling Facility, the Warrior Regional If you're serious about taking your wrestling to the next level, then Warrior RTC Wrestling Club is the place to be. Every Sunday at 4:30 and Wednesday at 6, boys and girls from different elementary, middle, and high schools come together to build skills, confidence, and lifelong friendships. With high-level experienced coaches and a positive training atmosphere, every Warrior learns to work hard and have fun doing it. Whether you're chasing your first medal or your next state title, Warrior RTC will help you in your relentless pursuit of self-improvement. Visit online at warriorrtc.com to learn more about the year-round wrestling opportunities and train like a champion.
Shop local. It's a phrase we hear all the time, but for the staff and family at Package Liquors, it means something extra. Package, with locations in Decatur, Monroe, Berne, and Markle. is a local family-owned business that has been serving local communities for decades. We take your support and patronage and return it by supporting local athletes on WZBD and donating to different organizations across Adams County. The next time you're deciding where to shop, shop local. Shop at Package. It's where your friends shop.
When faced with the difficult task of making arrangements for your loved one, many emotions and questions arise. What would they want me to do if they were here? Where is the money coming from? How much should I spend? Do they want burial or cremation? The staff at Haggard, Hirschy, and Zelt Funeral Home can help you navigate these tough questions. Make your wishes known and allow us to make sure that your wishes are carried out. Call Ryan Hirschy or Eric Zelt at 260-724-7167 to schedule an appointment today.
Based out of the Indiana Tech Wrestling Facility, the Warrior Regional Training Center is an elite training center for youth wrestlers, high school wrestlers, and college and senior level athletes. Featuring a college coaching staff with a strong history of developing talent and producing results, Warrior RTC will give any wrestler quality training partners to push them to new levels in the state-of-the-art 25,000 square foot wrestling building. The training is affordable and private training is also available. Put Warrior RTC in your corner this season.
Welcome back once again to another segment of the Haggard Hirschy Zelt High School Wrestling Weekly here, hosted by the Double Eagle Clubhouse Grille. And boys, I was able to segue that one right in there perfect, Warrior RTC. And who do we have with us but Wade McClurg himself? Welcome to the show, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You said you were this weekend at Little State. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that went and what you saw there?
Yeah, so those that aren't familiar, there's a tournament every year called the Indiana Little State Tournament, which is a college wrestling tournament, and it all the D3 schools in Indiana, Division II school, which is UND, and then NEI school, which is Indiana Tech, wrestle in this tournament. And then there's like 5 or 6 out-of-state teams that are pretty good that come in. And so, yeah, it's a good tournament. It's just basically a big open. But it's always cool because you see all those Indiana kids that wrestle each other in high school and they wrestle each other in college, and it's cool to see, how much progress some kids make in college, and maybe somehow not progress some kids make when they get to college, from high school. So
now, Coach, I know that kind of a segue from Warrior RTC. We had Coach Tim Myers on earlier this season, and he said that there's a new role for you that kind of came into the Belmont workout room.
Yeah, so a lot of like all the Adams County kids are training our club pretty much. His summer club, Madman, and our club at Tech have collaborated more, and I've been up in their room a little bit, and just helping them out. So helping those guys out. They have a good team. So.
Tell us a little bit about what Indiana Tech's done so far on the actual team side, not necessarily the RTC side.
Yeah, so like our college team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the men's team is ranked 4th in the country right now. We're about to plug. We did plug him in a couple weeks ago. So Luke Rio, which is an Indiana state champ from Avon, an All-American last year for us as a freshman, is back off of ACL surgery that he had in the spring. And he's going to, all signs seem like he's probably going to go this year. And so when he goes back in the ranking, we could see us maybe shooting up to 2 or 3 in the country. So we're excited. National Duels is a month away. And so we haven't been to the National Duel Finals, and it's been a decade since we've been in the finals and got second a couple times. So we're excited about our team, and hopefully we can get in the top 4 and try to get in the finals and see if we can win it.
Well, one of the guys that was part of those teams for you has become the new South Adams head wrestling coach. Sawyer Miller is one of those guys you've had a lot of experience with, and he's fallen into that second year as the South Adams head coach.
Yeah, Sawyer, it's cool to see just alums and people like that just giving back, to the community, and obviously it's where he's from, and he seems really excited, and they got some good individuals. Sawyer, it's fun in the summertime. He drives a bus of kids up to our room in the summer once a week, usually at least, and Sawyer gets on the mat and wrestles with the guys from everywhere. So
South Adams has
cool.
been blessed in that regard. We've been talking about a couple of different South Adams sports. They always have young guys who are willing to really put in a ton of time. We talked to Nathan Wynn last week or 2 weeks ago when it was, And he's constantly just pouring his extra time into even little things like that.
Yeah,
like
he's
actually doing the transportation.
He's one that Nathan, I see him a lot.
You need guys like that.
Yeah, they're working hard down there, so it's good to see.
And you saw him at Delta.
Yeah.
You know, that Delta team is I don't want to offend anybody.
It's sporadic.
They're kind of a lopsided team in that they have some really, really top level talent, and then they have some guys who are there. But you know, South Adams forfeits 3 weight classes. You take those 18 points away, it's a 29-29 match, and South Adams is right there with them. They get Will Patterson back. Obviously, South Adams is going to be forfeiting either 215 or 285 every single match this year. But Delta's not really the caliber of team that South Adams is trying to beat this year.
Yeah.
And so they're sort of sharpening themselves up with a 2A team, getting ready for the 1A team, where you are going to run into some teams who basically have 1 or 2 forfeits. They may have a guy in there, but he's going to end up at the end of the year with a 3-18 record.
Those Delta hammers in the middle, they're going to get their 4 wins. In most matches in this area, they're going to get those 4 wins. And it's just like, how do they spread them out and try and steal a win here and there? And South Adams is right there with them, but like I said, the forfeits just didn't add up for them very well.
Yeah, and one thing that maybe I didn't realize because I look so much more at the team thing than the individual things is that 6-pounder that took the forfeit for them is he ranked in the state, Joe? The Delta 6-pounder? Yes. Yeah, so when we talk about 4 studs, we may actually be talking about 5 studs.
Yeah, Carson Calicomo is pretty good.
Yeah, so that is
Calicomo, there it is.
That's all we needed. You and Josh, you put a lot of wrestling knowledge between your two brains, but linguistically, they're not.
Enunciation is not our strong suit.
Well, his dad wrestled. I might butcher this, but it was Muncie Central, Muncie South, one of those schools. He's the same age as my older brother, so I remember him. I know his dad. So
Calicomo.
Now
he'll be good.
Now you've got it. Now, are there any opportunities for local wrestling fans here in our listening area to check out this Indiana Tech team, either on the men's side or the women's side? Are there any home meets?
The men's team, we have a home duel with Lords, which will be our senior night, and that's in the end of January.
Okay.
Put me on the spot there. I think it's a Friday night.
I did, and I just closed out the tab for you as well.
That's going to be tough wrestling the Lord, isn't it?
Yeah. Lords University, which is in Sylvania, Ohio. They got some solid guys, and then we travel to Marion the following week. So they did something new this year in our conference. We have less home duels, which so we did like a conference super duel a couple weeks ago where we knocked out like 5 of our conference duels, and then we just have a home and away. So from a dual meet standpoint, we don't do a lot of weeknight duels this year, and it just saves people money on budgets and things like that, travel, and it makes more sense. But
who else is new and involved on the team this year? Who are the new recruits that would be new?
Well, I mean, just like some of the standouts, a freshman that some people might know, Marlon Kirksey. It's a freshman from Maryville High School. Finished 6th in the state tournament last year, and he's ranked, I believe, 13th right now in the country at 149. So he's had a good first 5-6 weeks of the season competition. We like him a lot. Just great character, hard worker. He's doing really well. And then we've got several guys that are doing really well. So I mean, local. I'm trying to think of local guys. Ian Clifford, Columbia City's a senior. He's ranked in the country at heavyweight right now. Johnny Cruz, Bluffton High School, is a sophomore, and he's ranked 7th in the country right now at heavyweight. So NAI is a beautiful thing. We can double up in weight classes. So we have 2 really good heavyweights that are both from this area that are doing well for us. So
good. Well, we'll talk more. Guys. We'll talk more about your upcoming recruiting class for next year. We'll talk more about some of our high school guys who are in your room with Warrior RTC when we come back from this next break.
Well, before I do that, I want to tell Wade that I put the order in of the design for the shirts and Warrior RTC on the back of the shirt, and that makes it all the more special.
Makes it legit.
There we go.
The staff at Haggard, Hirschy, and Zelt Funeral Home is honored to serve the community we love and live in. Locally owned and operated by Ryan Hirschy and Eric Zelt, we understand that each family we serve and each life lived tells a unique story. Our goal is to offer comfort, care, and dignity to all who entrust their loved ones to our care. We are proud to call Adams County our home and look forward to serving you for generations to come.
Locally owned and operated by Shane Reynolds and family, DDD Maintenance and Repair is your place to go for heavy-duty truck and diesel engine repair. Located just outside of Monroe, DDD Maintenance and Repair also offers sand and glass blasting for all of your surface restoration projects. Whether you're looking to get your truck or diesel engine to run like new, or your metal restoration project to look like new, we have a blast renewing the past. Give Shane and the guys a call at 223-5442. That's DDD Maintenance and Repair.
Renowned around the Midwest for his skills and his creative abilities, Nate Bowers and the team at Bowers Paint Studio in Decatur work with a wide range of clients, from collision repair to custom paint jobs for classic cars and motorcycles. Located on Monroe Street on the west side of Decatur, Bowers is your place for body work too, whether it's getting your ride back on the road or finally getting that classic car, the paint job you've always wanted. Stop by or give Nate a call to put the best in the business to work for you.
Ho, ho, ho. 'Twas the season for giving, and throughout the community, neighbors shopped local with remarkable unity. They found clothes and toys that make children glad, sparkling jewelry for mom, electronics for dad. Why, everything you need to spread holiday cheer is all readily available right now and right here. This reminder to shop local for all your heart yearns comes with Merry Christmas wishes from First Bank of Bird.
Welcome back to the Haggard Hirschy Zelt High School Wrestling Weekly, here hosted by the Double Eagle Clubhouse Grille. And First Bank of Bern, a new sponsor for us, Dane, and chasing some artwork down so they can be on the back of the show shirt that is in the wind now.
Good. That's what we want. We want to give a shout out to everybody who is watching tonight from their living room, I guess. I don't know. The Brights are watching. I think the judge is watching. Matthew C. is watching. I saw a nice note on there from Joyce Arnold on the YouTube feed, so we want to thank everybody. And, of course, everybody who's listening over their radio, and to Steve, who's sitting there in his chair listening.
But like I told the Brights, not coming out here and eating chicken wings, that doesn't count sitting in your living room. Come on now.
Well, we want to talk to Wade McClurg about your recruiting class for next year. Of course, recruiting is an eternal process for everybody involved with every college program, but have you signed any new commits yet?
No.
Is it too early? It's too early. You can't do that.
It's not too early, but we will. I would just say stay tuned soon here. We just did send our first batch of offers and financial aid packages out. So, yeah, I don't want to speak too soon on some guys, but we're pretty excited about it. I think a few guys that we're going to.
So we got lots of parents listening. Mostly that's who our audience is, right? And you're somebody who makes decisions based on what you know about a kid. Talk to us a little bit about what do you look for in a kid? What kind of kids is Indiana Tech recruiting? What should parents be advising their kids to focus on to get to that point?
Yeah, I would think the first thing is the first thing we look at is your grades, because you have to have a certain GPA to get into school and for us to legally offer you a scholarship. So that's the first thing, and then the second thing, which goes along with I think grades, is your character and what you value, and what your values are, and what you stand for. And how we learn that is just we watch kids compete. We watch them. We like to go watch them train. Over Thanksgiving break when I'm from Indy, so I went down to a couple high school rooms while I was in Thanksgiving break to watch a couple kids just work out and talk to their coaches while the kids were looking to recruit in this recruiting class. And then watch how they act, how do they warm up, how do they handle a loss, how do they handle a win. All those things. So character is I would say character, which goes along with probably what you value, like your academics should be important to you, and how you handle yourself. And then the wrestling talent is obviously important, but we try to find that on our division. The NAIA is, I would compare it to Division II in terms of, we both give athletic scholarships. It's pretty comparable in the competition level. So we're right there. It's I think the second toughest division in college wrestling. So we've got to find that D1 fringe guy. We're always trying to find those kind of dudes. And then we also try to find the guy that, maybe is in Indiana. There's a lot of under the radar guys because the way our state tournament is set up. There's some people that people don't know about, which is kind of an advantage for us. But we know is going to be really great. I was talking about Marlon Kirksey before. I mean, I'm friends with Dave Maldonado, and I trust what Dave Maldonado says. And I call him and talk to him, and we get him on a visit, and we watch him work out. And like, this guy fits. He fits, and he's got the talent. And look what he's doing. So we just really try to do our research on guys and find those guys that fit. We've had eight national champions in our program, in the 15 years of the program, and only one of them was a high school state champion. So I think that kind of speaks to how we develop guys and what we look for and what we value as a program. So we stress academics and wrestling and doing things well off the mat. We were academic national champions at Tech 3 years ago in our division. So I think that's why we're consistently in the hunt for team trophies every year at nationals.
So you have some guys from out of state, quite a few from different. Who are some of the guys from some of the states outside of Indiana you have on the team?
We got kids from. Last year we had kids from a dozen different states, but we graduated some guys. I think we have like 8 states on our roster. We have a lot of success with Michigan guys. We have a kid named Benny Abbey who just won Little State yesterday. He's from Heartland, Michigan. Was a 2-time state runner-up in Michigan, big class. Beat a West Liberty kid, Nico Taddy, who was ranked like 4th in Division II yesterday in the semifinal. So he had a good win. We've got a lot of success with a certain club in Atlanta, Georgia. So we've got an in there. So recruiting is all about like pipelines. So one of our volunteer assistants, Brett Yarborough, is part of the first graduating class at Tech, and he's from Georgia, and he never left Fort Wayne. He actually married our lacrosse coach. I mean, he just lives in Fort Wayne, so he's kind of our in to some kids down south, and we've had a lot of success with Georgia guys. So yeah, we really try to recruit. Obviously, Indiana, there's a lot of great talent in Indiana, but we try to recruit everywhere.
That's a tough sell if a guy lives in Atlanta, Georgia, to come and wrestle in Indiana, because a lot of those guys have never seen or driven in snow.
That's correct. Yeah. So
that's a good sales pitch, bud.
Yeah. So we had to recruit him a little extra hard, but.
Now, to segue, you were talking about Marlon Kirksey. He last year, Friday night, wrestles Brayson from Adams Central, and you got a lot of Adams Central kids that are up there. You already mentioned the South Adams kids who are getting bussed up there in the summer to make sure that they get the time. You talked about Tim Myers and the Belmont kids. How do you approach a high school season, knowing the relationship that you've built with those sort of Adams County guys and watching and sort of consuming their matches and knowing what they're doing and following their progress?
Yeah, it's a lot. Usually I spend my Sundays trying to catch up, watching some of our film from our college team, and then I dive into Indiana Madden on Joe's website and try to find results and texting kids. And then there's a new rule this year where we're actually allowed to do a little bit more with high school kids as a club than we have in the past through Robert Falcons and the IHSAA. So a new rule interpretation. So today we had practice, and we actually had like 25 high school kids in there just skilling and drilling and working out. So that's been easier to keep tabs on guys. Like, Jackson Bradley texted me at noon today and asked if I could drill with him today. So I worked out with Jackson today. So yeah, we just try to keep tabs on guys and help them. Just let them know we're here to help them. Not to take away from what they already have. They have good situations, but just we're here to help and supplement. And I think this area has been opening and welcoming to that and needs that. And so
well, now's your chance to play Nostradamus. Give us some names. Give us some guys who have really been working hard over the last 6 months inside your walls, who people should be ready for.
I think we all know. I mean, Lincoln Carter, I think, is a dude, and I think he could have won the state tournament last year, and he didn't. Just fell a little short. I think he is, stays healthy and does the right. He just works really hard, does the right things. I think he's a threat to be a state champion. And then, one guy that we're super high on and just his progress from just year to year to year is Dylan Ogg from Adams Central and Brayson Shortgen from Adams Central. Those guys have made a lot of jumps. Cale Beer is another guy. I think those kids have made a lot of jumps. And then, we talked about South Adams. Belmont, obviously, a bunch of guys. They got a pretty young team. But, yeah, Jackson Bradley is another dude, I think, in the area that is obviously –
yeah, we missed out on the opportunity to see Jackson.
Four-time medalist. And
he was supposed to be wrestling South Adams on Tuesday, and that one got postponed. And I don't know if there's going to be a makeup date for that one or not. So we're disappointed to not see them. But for as small as Cowan is, they've got a couple of couple of studs on that team that are a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, they do. Ashton Goney's been in the room a little bit. He comes up with Jackson. He's really talented. And then I was just thinking, because we had a couple of North Miami kids in the room today. So Hartley Hoover has just finished his football season. I think he could have a really good season. He put a great offseason in and went to Fargo and
that kid's a stud.
Wrestled freestyle for the first time this summer.
North Miami picked up
Rex Moore.
He was in
the room this afternoon as well.
From Manchester. So a lot of people listening right now are interested in 1A and the 1A team rankings and 1A team state seeding, and like defending state champions North Miami add a pretty decent kid to their lineup with him transferring. So
yeah, I don't think they lost a lot from their team last year.
And they were a lot of fun to watch, and they came into that tournament last year. Rex had the 2A down at Jay County, and I was the one at Adams Central. They came in dead serious. I mean, they were determined. They did, in my mind, very little celebrating in the early rounds, and they didn't even celebrate some of their early wins against Adams Central. Like, they were focused. And I would call them, from talking to a couple of people associated with that program, like, that's all that's on their minds right now is winning again.
Yeah, Coach Hoover, Hartley's dad, he does a really good job. They do a really good job over there. So they get all those guys to wrestle hard. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought Adams Central was a pretty clear favorite last year at 1A, but North Miami surprised me. They were tough. And they recently, talking about recruiting, we had a kid on a visit a couple weeks ago that is from Missouri that just transferred to North Miami. And I don't know much about him, but I think he's pretty solid. So that's another addition.
Interesting.
People probably don't know about that. They'll know about now because I said it. Coach Hoover might be mad at me.
It was a secret weapon.
It's only supposed to be a secret. But.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, I do appreciate the Warrior RTC shirt that I got from you last year because it came in handy at Halloween. I wore it, but people thought I looked like a big pumpkin. So with that, let's send it for a round of commercials. Back with more High School Wrestling Weekly here on WZBD.
If you're serious about taking your wrestling to the next level, then Warrior RTC Wrestling Club is the place to be. Every Sunday at 4:30 and Wednesday at 6, boys and girls from different elementary, middle, and high schools come together to build skills, confidence, and lifelong friendships. With high-level experienced coaches and a positive training atmosphere, every Warrior learns to work hard and have fun doing it. Whether you're chasing your first medal or your next state title, Warrior RTC will help you in your relentless pursuit of self-improvement. Visit online at warriorrtc.com to learn more about the year-round wrestling opportunities and train like a champion.
Hello, this is Joel from your local hometown Packaged Liquors. Packaged Liquors provides the best selection of domestic, import, and craft beers in Z-Lane. With locations in Decatur, Monroe, Bern, and Markle, you're always just a short drive away from picking up the perfect last-minute gift or just the right six-pack to watch the game with friends. You're never a stranger when you walk through the doors, and our smiling staff never has a problem giving you a recommendation when you're not sure what it is you need. Stop in at one of our 4 locations and see what hometown service looks like. Packaged Liquors, it's where your friends shop.
When faced with the difficult task of making arrangements for your loved one, many emotions and questions arise. What would they want me to do if they were here? Where is the money coming from? How much should I spend? Do they want burial or cremation? The staff at Haggard, Hirschy, and Zelt Funeral Home can help you navigate these tough questions. Make your wishes known and allow us to make sure that your wishes are carried out. Call Ryan Hirschy or Eric Zelt at 260-724-7167 to schedule an appointment today.
Shop local. It's a phrase we hear all the time, but for the staff and family at Packaged Liquors, it means something extra. Package, with locations in Decatur, Monroe, Bern, and Markle, is a local family-owned business that has been serving local communities for decades. We take your support and patronage and return it by supporting local athletes on WZBD and donating to different organizations across Adams County. The next time you're deciding where to shop, shop local. Shop at Package. It's where your friends shop.
Welcome back to Double Eagle Clubhouse Grille for another segment of the Haggard Hirschy Zelt High School Wrestling Weekly, and we're joined once again by the big gorilla himself, Joe Caprino. And Joe, you brought your laptop with you there. Are you working on your script for tomorrow night's Gorilla Radio show?
No, I'm working on my articles for all the upsets and ranked matches from this weekend. Cause
there were a lot of them.
Yes, there were. There are a lot of on both sides. So I think I got at least one graphic done. Now I got to get the other one, and so it's always doing stuff. And had a busy day today, so this is about the only time I've been able to work.
So Joe, now people don't realize all of us guys are on the radio, and like we have other jobs, right? We have livings that we have to keep up with. Are you one of those guys too that has to have a real job too?
My wife makes me do that. Yes.
They make you pay a house payment.
No, the real question is, are you going to get an invite to the Christmas party this year?
I don't know.
The Zealand Christmas party.
I'm more interested in getting the one to the IHSA Christmas party.
Well,
with Falcons and them.
That's a little bit different.
We should have asked him on there on the show.
We, of course, have a myriad of topics that we could go through with you today, but I wanted to talk a little bit about some fairly big news. I saw a big recruitment announcement this weekend.
Yeah, Clinton Shepard to Penn State. Penn State's pretty good at wrestling. If you've been living under a rock for the past 15 years, but yeah, he committed to Penn State yesterday. Just kind of saw that come through the feed. I know they were high on him, and I think he had Ohio State was also on his last list, and I can't remember. I want to say maybe Oklahoma State was, but all the big schools were looking at him. And great kid, just hard worker. I think Penn State is just about as perfect of a fit for him as you can ever imagine. And I know personally one of their coaches is very excited to have him. I don't want to mention names, but you can probably figure out which one. Cal and I are pretty close.
They're not going to recruit a kid they don't want. Yes. I mean, they have the pick of the litter. They're not just picking random dudes to go into that room and that they think they're going to get better. If they offered him, they think that he has the potential to be a Penn State varsity wrestler.
Yeah, they have a very specific mold they look at, and while I don't know exactly what it is, I'm pretty positive Clinton is that exact mold, and they do just crazy things with kids like him. And I can't imagine being a kid that's 17, 18 years old, and you're having to even tell Cal Sanderson, well, your program's not good enough for me. I can't even imagine that. If he
saying no.
If he even butt dials me, I would say yes.
Now let's talk about 150 because I think it's a pretty intriguing weight class. There's a lot of local connections to it. You've got Shepard at number 1 on Indiana mat. You've got defending state champion Tommy Gibbs at number 2. The takedown machine Jeffrey Hoiver at number 3, and there's a lot of names in there of guys that we're used to talking about, but there's also some unfamiliar names. You heard Wade talk about Ashton Goney from Cowan. Now, Dylan Ogg is, I believe, planning on going higher than 150 right now. I think Brayson and Dylan have both jumped Maverick in the lineup, and Maverick's dropped down because he finished as a state medalist last year at 157, and I think he's going to be wrestling 150 on Tuesday night against Norwell. It's always really interesting to see, I'm sure you see more of it, and Mike does too, of a guy moves a weight and then all of a sudden there's little subsequent ripples in the pool in different ways where guys all of a sudden find themselves moving away from one guy or another. Tell you what, if you're going to move away from a guy, moving away from a Penn State recruit might make some sense.
Yeah, Tommy Gibbs, returning champ, Fargo All-American. He's no slouch either. You cannot overlook him. I think there's going to be some changes with weights, especially at 150, 157. In the next update, I think we've gotten some people that are kind of changing weights. They saw what each weight's looking like, and you kind of have that this time of year. People were like, man, maybe I shouldn't go that way. And someone like Shepard and Gibbs are just studs, and there's a better path for people, I think. And I know some of the people are up or down. Early season weights are always fluctuate, and
then I always feel like there's that one guy who's like, everybody's bailing. I'm jumping in there. I'll take that third place medal, or I'll take the luck of the draw to get on the opposite side of the bracket, and I'll wrestle under the lights against some guy who's potentially going to be wrestling under the lights NCAA later in my career.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Shepard and Gibbs might hit up this weekend at Ironman, so maybe we'll see a little bit of
what kind of coverage will Indiana Matt have as far as knowing what to watch for and who's going to be involved and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we'll be putting some stuff out probably this week of kind of the exact entries once we get seeds. I don't know when they will put out seeds, usually early midweek. They'll have those out. I know we have a really strong group of guys from top to bottom going. The Lowell 3 are going, both with Stanley, Verduzco, Hazlett, Jeremy Carver, Kyle Harden from Cathedral, Connor Maddox from Westfield, Nate Rio, Casey Bridge, Mason Gills from Avon, Michael White, Lawrence North, he's going to Oklahoma State. Just talked to him this weekend. He's pretty excited to go there. Jensen Boyd from Delta. Brownsburg's taken pretty much their full team. They might leave one guy at home. I'm not sure. Crown Point's taken, I think, pretty much their full team, if not their full team. And then Center Grove has both Browns and Peyton Hornsby. I believe that is it coming there. So we got a great group of guys from all over the state, and they're gonna. That's a tough tournament. I'll be there Friday. Wrestling starts probably about like 11 on Friday.
Now, is it a track wrestling tournament? Do you know what?
I believe it's track wrestling. I do not know for certain at this time. I have not checked that far, but yes, usually it's on track. But I don't know if Ohio's using USA bracketing or something else. But that'll be where to follow that. It'll be on Flow Rest. Usually it's on Flow where they can stream and everything. It is a meat grinder from the first whistle, and it is intense. You have kids from 40 states, the best of the best. I mean, they only let you bring in your studs. They're not going to let you bring in, these guys that you think aren't going to compete, and it's going to be fun. I know Brownsburg's excited. I know the teams have been there every year. I'm excited to see guys like Connor Maddox, Rio, Bridge. Bridge had a good win this weekend. Cameron Hazlett on a stage like that, he performs there. It's going to be pretty cool to see all those guys. And the cool thing about that especially is, you're not wearing your Lowell or Crown Point or Brownsburg singlet. They're all cheering for each other. You're wearing an Indiana. You're wearing Indiana on your chest there because you're representing the state. And you see Brownsburg kids cheering for Crown Point kids and Center Grove kids and things like that. So it's pretty neat to see those guys kind of come together almost like they're at Fargo or junior duels or something like that. So it's pretty cool to see all the kids come together and be like, hey, we want to represent Indiana on the biggest stage you can possibly do during the high school season.
So, Dane, let's break Joe's interview up. We'll bring him back in after this. Let's run a few commercials back with more Joe Caprino right after this on WZBD.
The staff at Haggard, Hirschy, and Zelt Funeral Home is honored to serve the community we love and live in. Locally owned and operated by Ryan Hirschy and Eric Zelt, we understand that each family we serve and each life lived tells a unique story. Our goal is to offer comfort, care, and dignity to all who entrust their loved ones to our care. We are proud to call Adams County our home and look forward to serving you for generations to come.
Locally owned and operated by Shane Reynolds and family, DDD Maintenance and Repair is your place to go for heavy-duty truck and diesel engine repair. Located just outside of Monroe, DDD Maintenance and Repair also offers sand and glass blasting for all of your surface restoration projects. Whether you're looking to get your truck or diesel engine to run like new, or your metal restoration project to look like new, we have a blast renewing the past. Give Shane and the guys a call at 223-5442. That's DDD Maintenance and Repair.
Renowned around the Midwest for his skills and his creative abilities, Nate Bowers and the team at Bowers Paint Studio in Decatur work with a wide range of clients, from collision repair to custom paint jobs for classic cars and motorcycles. Located on Monroe Street on the west side of Decatur, Bowers is your place for body work too, whether it's getting your ride back on the road or finally getting that classic car, the paint job you've always wanted. Stop by or give Nate a call to put the best in the business to work for you.
Ho, ho, ho. 'Twas the season for giving, and throughout the community, neighbors shopped local with remarkable unity. They found clothes and toys that make children glad, sparkling jewelry for mom, electronics for dad. Why, everything you need to spread holiday cheer is all readily available right now and right here. This reminder to shop local for all your heart yearns comes with Merry Christmas wishes from First Bank of Bird.
Welcome back to Double Eagle Clubhouse Grille for our next segment of the Haggard Hirschy Zelt High School Wrestling Weekly. And we're still joined by Joe Caprino of Indiana Mat. And Joe, question I want to ask you is, where'd you get the Indiana Mat bags? Mine's getting tore up. I need to order a new one.
He's always begging for something, isn't he?
No, I need to order one. I'm going to put High School Wrestling Weekly on some, but I'm looking for that. I need to know your source.
The backpacks?
Yeah, the big bag.
I only have one left from the initial order. And
Rex and I both wear ours. Yes. Sometimes we grab the...
I wear mine out. It's got a hole in it. I put tape on it.
Yeah, I've worn one out too, so I have one more in the stash. Those are very hot commodities. Haven't looked into getting any more, but maybe I will have to get.
We do have a special prize for some wrestlers this week, though. Tell us a little bit about your newest venture.
Oh, wait here.
Yeah, well, we got some.
I guess we got a video we can show.
Some new little awards, just kind of something small, but kind of a token of appreciation for good performances. They're just little mini most valuable gorilla awards. They're handheld little 3D printed gorillas, and have given a couple out in the past couple just this week. And
you like
so
George Costanza there as a hand model.
Just as a anytime an Indiana person's going to be at an event, if they see someone that has a good performance, maybe a big win, maybe they got a win that helped the team seal a big dual meet or something, or just going out there and battled with a top guy, whatever you feel, it's all up to you. And give them one. I gave one to Noblesville Wrestler this weekend after a really big win against Homestead. Sorry, Andy, but it was a big win in the duel, and they were closing out about 4 or 5 matches left, and he got a win over a really good wrestler and kind of definitely earned it. And so it's pretty neat just to kind of give a token of appreciation. They're nothing big, but it's more about you went out there and you performed, and someone with Indiana Mat saw you.
Yeah, that's the next version of the TikTok Jesus.
There you go. We will humbly hand them out as representatives of Indiana Mat this week at our broadcast. That'll be fun to do. Yeah, and we always enjoy interviewing wrestlers after big dual meets.
We'll make some with Rex's face on there.
There you go.
For the least valuable one.
You could just leave that gorilla face on there and you'd be just about as close. So.
Well, obviously we have a busy week, as we said earlier in the show. A doubleheader on Tuesday night, and then the conference duels this weekend on Friday and Saturday. And that continues then on to the next week, as we will have a doubleheader on Tuesday. We have one match on Tuesday the following week. That's Adams Central at New Haven. And then on Thursday, Columbia City at Adams Central. So a doubleheader of Adams Central matches the following week as they finally get their season underway. And then they'll also be at New Haven. This year the 10-way is at New Haven, not at Yorktown. So we'll be there for that on December 20th as well. And then obviously December 20th is really the last day to make your case for Team State. And then our show on December 21st will be the announcement show, and we'll bring you that. And, the invitation is open. If you'd like to administrate from down here on the 21st, you're certainly welcome to. I know sometimes you like your home office a little bit better, but we would definitely love to have you take part in that. And it's an exciting time. Lots and lots of emails coming in from coaches. If you are a coach who's emailed me in the last 72 hours, I have not responded to you. I apologize. I will get to it within the next 24 hours. In fact, I believe there was at least one coach who emailed me on Wednesday. We want to be considered. We think we're really, and then by Saturday afternoon, I got another email that said, "Don't worry about us. We don't need to be considered. Sorry, I wasted your time." But it's fun. It's fun to talk to coaches. It's fun to, despite what you may think, most coaches pretty much shoot you straight as to, hey, we think we belong here. Hey, I'm just going to put our name in there so that, you know what I mean? Like they're not really thinking that they deserve consideration. And then a lot of coaches will come out and say, hey, I think we are better than this team. So if you're considering this team, here's why I think that we are better than them, and here's when we're going to prove it. We're going to do it next Saturday when we wrestle this team that they only beat by 1. We're going to beat them by more than that. And that's useful information because there's, I don't know, you just made the post this week on Indiana Mat to try to gather some of the information. But we're tracking 50 to 60 teams right now who are all thinking that they're going to get one of 14 spots. It's not easy.
Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting to see what teams are interested. And I know each of them are in a little bit different stages of where their program is. I think some are using it, the ones that you're saying, like, they kind of know that they're going to be likely not in, but they want to show their team that, hey, this should be our goal. This is where we want to be. This is what we're going to be aiming for. And maybe not, we're aiming for it this year, but we're looking, this is something we need to be in every year. And I think it's, it shows some coaches that are really looking not only for this year, but they're looking for the future and trying to ingrain into their kids that Team State is something we are going to aim for. We're going to try for every year. It's really neat to see just how those coaches coach their kids. And I know one of them's taking a program that's not where they want to be right now, but they're going to continue to kind of put that pressure and put that in front of their kids. Like, this is where we're going to be. This is what we're aiming for. We're striving not just to be a sectional champion, but we're striving to be a team state champion.
Let's try and sneak it around a round of commercials in. We'll be back with more High School Wrestling Weekly right after this.
The staff at Haggard, Hirschy, and Zelt Funeral Home is honored to serve the community we love and live in. Locally owned and operated by Ryan Hirschy and Eric Zelt, we understand that each family we serve and each life lived tells a unique story. Our goal is to offer comfort, care, and dignity to all who entrust their loved ones to our care. We are proud to call Adams County our home and look forward to serving you for generations to come.
Locally owned and operated by Shane Reynolds and family, DDD Maintenance and Repair is your place to go for heavy-duty truck and diesel engine repair. Located just outside of Monroe, DDD Maintenance and Repair also offers sand and glass blasting for all of your surface restoration projects. Whether you're looking to get your truck or diesel engine to run like new, or your metal restoration project to look like new, we have a blast renewing the past. Give Shane and the guys a call at 223-5442. That's DDD Maintenance and Repair.
Renowned around the Midwest for his skills and his creative abilities, Nate Bowers and the team at Bowers Paint Studio in Decatur work with a wide range of clients, from collision repair to custom paint jobs for classic cars and motorcycles. Located on Monroe Street on the west side of Decatur, Bowers is your place for body work too, whether it's getting your ride back on the road or finally getting that classic car, the paint job you've always wanted. Stop by or give Nate a call to put the best in the business to work for you.
Ho, ho, ho. 'Twas the season for giving, and throughout the community, neighbors shopped local with remarkable unity. They found clothes and toys that make children glad, sparkling jewelry for mom, electronics for dad. Why, everything you need to spread holiday cheer is all readily available right now and right here. This reminder to shop local for all your heart yearns comes with Merry Christmas wishes from First Bank of Bird.
Welcome back once again to the Double Eagle Clubhouse Grille for our last segment here, and we're in the overtime period for the Haggard Hirschy Zelt High School Wrestling Weekly.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the matchups for Tuesday's matches and preview a little bit of the ACAC duels in our final time remaining. You saw South Adams last week on Thursday, Rex, and I think Max Adams was at 120 and Dakota Sprunger was at 126. We've seen Oliver Farrow at 120 for Belmont and Ben Mills at 126. Those are going to be great matchups. Will Patterson is reportedly going to be back this week, and so he adds another dimension.
Yeah, they were missing Loshi last week, too, was sick the day of the match. So that's another guy that we didn't see the other night. Yeah,
Wyatt Mann's at 150, so a pair of seniors there as he faces off against Sam Wolpert. That'll be a funky match between the two of them, Mann and Wolpert. They both like to wrestle with that kind of sort of unorthodox.
Did Mann wrestle Wicker tonight?
I don't have the results in front of me to remember.
The South Adams guy that was wrestling, the Delta guy that was one of those hammers, was right with him. I mean, 2 periods. I mean, it was within a couple points, and then he got caught in a cradle and got pinned. But that was a quality match, and those are guys that saw each other at regional last year. That it was some pretty good wrestling there.
I got it for you here in a second. Wicker was wrestling Max Adams, down at 120, and I heard. When I went back through that it was a really close match up until the fall. So, and Max Adams is a guy who's been putting in a ton of work in the off season. So, then at what other matches do we want to highlight between the Braves and the Starfires?
The big one that almost was a wrestling match between Troy Palacios and Nathan Wynn the other night, because Nathan Wynn didn't know what Troy Palacios' son was, his son was, and that's going to be a match. I mean, those are big, strong guys. I think Palacios has a little bit sharper wrestling skills, but
has been on the mat a lot more than Somerset.
Somerset's just a great athlete.
In the last month, obviously, Palacios with a state medal around his neck last year and a top 4 ranking, and really looks to be, I think, in the hunt for potentially breaking Belmont's Al Smith drought with the championship. I know he's got his mind set on a semi-state title and all those types of things, but you don't want to overlook, I should say, somebody who's going to end up on a D1 football scholarship when it comes to to strength. And
go to the heavyweight match and that South Adams match. The new heavyweight, they got a freshman heavyweight, I think.
Oh, yes, they have. It's Cooper Affolter is his name. I think he weighs 215, but he can go 215.
Yeah, he wrestled heavyweight tonight. He wrestled very good-looking freshman for an upper weight.
And one of Belmont's big weaknesses right now has been 215, and so that'll be an opportunity for South Adams to maybe eke out a victory. I don't think they're going to bump that young man up to wrestle Grady Baker.
Or they bump Palacios to 215 if they don't want to wrestle Somerset, depending on what points they need.
Yeah, definitely. So starting weight will be interesting there. We saw Xavier get bumped up to 215 on Thursday because Bishop Dwenger didn't have a 190 and Belmont decided. So Belmont, I think, still has some things in the work there at 215 as well for later on in the season. And that's the beauty of Team State, right? Like teams, there are several teams already who are looking at their lineup and thinking, yeah, this isn't going to work. Like, we're going to have to figure out something different because when it comes to a dual meet lineup, like, that's too big of a hole. Like, we can't shift people this way. And so they're out there trying to get that guy back on the team who wrestled last year but didn't come out this year. Or the guy, like, if you come on this team, not only will you help us, but you will plug in at this spot, and we need you for this match because we think we can make the state finals or those types of things.
I don't want to sway away from it, but one of the good things about the YouTube channel is I got home that night, and I went in and I watched the YouTube broadcast and got to see the matches because a lot of times if you have a match and I have a match and I don't see that match and you talk about there's a good match between these two guys, I was able to go back and watch it. So kudos to WZBD and the technical level we've been able to achieve.
Innovative concepts for sure. So, and I did want to give you, we will have a preview up tomorrow on the website for the Adams Central match with Norwell as a preview and the South Adams and Belmont match. I did contact our Adams Central coaches, and they provided us with a provisional lineup to use in that story. Cruz Bowers, as aforementioned, at 106. Owen Macklin at 113. Jaden Fiesel at 120. Colton Everett at 126. Cale Beer at 132. Miles Carr all the way up to 138. I don't know if you have seen him wrestling or what his wrestling picture looked like. Because his mom worked for us, right, at WZBD taking pictures. I said, man, that is not the Miles that I remember, who was a 6-pounder who was just trying not to get tech falled at Team State not that long ago. He's grown into a strong young man. At 144, Clay Fichter. As we mentioned earlier, Mav Dubois at 150 after medaling at State last year at 157. Dylan Ogden at 57 and Brayson all the way up to 165. Max Nussbaum will be at 175, Xander Schwartz at 190, Ethan Funk at 215, and then I know there's been a lot of discussion about where Adams Central will go with heavyweight, but the name that they gave me to start the year is Ryan Beer.
Sounds great. Joe, we appreciate you coming down. Wade, we appreciate you coming down, and I'm glad both of you brought your wives along to have a nice meal since you've probably been feeding your wife hot dogs all weekend, Joe, at the concession stand, so it's nice to actually get them in here. I'd like to thank the elder Filling for coming in, making his way in to be in his room with his lovely wife. With his lovely wife.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So, just want to make sure.
With that, let's wrap this up here. You've been listening to High School Weekly on the WZBD YouTube channel.